Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. Listen, we got a little bit of news, man. We got to hit with today. Lincoln Riley just announced not too long ago that starting center Keelan O'Connor will be out for at least 2 weeks, and so that probably will put him back to the Nebraska game, and so that means that we're gonna have a guy that's going to fill in, and we'll talk about him in just a second. But you guys know, man, Keelan O'Connor, man, and B. Shaw actually talked about it, and me and B. Shaw was actually getting ready to go live this evening. However, I'm on the road, so won't be able to do it. But Keelan O'Connor, man, was a guy that B. Shaw talked about that knows this offense, a guy that knows how to move and groove, a guy that's very familiar with how to be essentially the captain of the offensive line, which is what the center usually does. And Keelan O'Connor is going to be out. And I'm not sure the exact injury, but, you did see him walking around with the crutches during the Illinois game, and it's going to keep him out sideline for a couple of weeks. So that means we're going to have another guy that has some experience, but he just got to get more acclimated to the system, if you will. And, but it'll be DeAndre Reed, Syracuse transfer, who has over 25 starts. And, when he was out there on Saturday, he played pretty well with that offensive line. The offensive line as a whole, you guys know we had Elijah Page out of there. Of course, Keelan O'Connor. And so you got a bunch of guys that were filling in. And you saw guys like Michael Benuela step up. Of course, Justin and Tobias Raymond, those guys already been kind of moving and grooving and doing a phenomenal job on the offensive line. And one thing we could say is that the offensive line really didn't have a letdown as it relates to just being able to push the ball down the field. And, the fact that Reed has those 25 starts, I think that speaks to, his versatility and his veteran leadership. But he does have to, especially when we have plays like the play we ran, the reverse play, the pitch back where Mekhi Lemon had the touchdown. You got to tell Reed, at least tell him to play so that he won't go 3 yards down the field and cause a penalty. But, Reed does have the experience, and I think it won't be a huge drop-off with him and O'Connor, provided that we know all the plays that's coming in and that he knows all the plays that's coming in. But I think his backup will probably be Willie Wisher from the state of Washington, and he's a very serviceable guy as well. But this is why it's so important. Guys talk about having depth on the offensive line, having depth at the center position, depth at the guard, depth at the tackle position, because you never know when you're going to need these guys. And so now we got to have the next man up mentality. It's going to be Reed coming in, the veteran from Syracuse. Real quick, let's talk about some of the other things that Lincoln Riley had to address. So also Lincoln Riley, he addressed the whole food poisoning issue that took place. You guys know we talked about this just the other day, that a parent called and told me that there were a few guys that were absolutely had dealt with their food poisoning. And when Lincoln Riley was asked about it, he said, yeah, we had a few guys that weren't feeling 100%. But that's pretty much where he left it at. And you guys know, how it is with injuries, period. Anything that goes on with this program is very secretive, and they keep it close to the chest. But hey, look, man, it's water under the bridge. We're going to continue to move and groove. And I think we will see a more energized USC football team next time we go out against Michigan in a couple of weeks. Let's pray that all these guys get better, all these guys get healed up. But this is where we're at now, man. We got several guys that are out. Keelan O'Connor's out. You got Elijah Page that came back to practice today. So I think as far as the team goes, I think we will be more healthier than we were this past weekend in this game against Illinois. So hit me in the comments, man. You guys tell me what you think. And also we can possibly have guys like Alex Graham as well as cornerback R.J. Sermon. But how quickly will they be ready to roll, coming against a team like Michigan? Who knows? But, hopefully they're in there practicing this week and getting some reps. And we'll see what happens, man. Hit me in the comments, man. You guys tell me what you think. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. I'm out of here. Fight on, fight on, fight on.